Week 1 of the MLS season is done, and the boys in gold won on the road against Mocha FC, took a point home here at Geodis Park, and we're here to break it down with the crew. Welcome to episode 2 of Spotlight. Today we're going to talk about how the boys in gold took down Mocha FC on the road in the Dominican Republic, and then turned around here at Geodis Park to play against New York Red Bulls as we took a point. Guys, welcome back. How are we doing today?
Doing good. I mean, it's episode 2 of Spotlight. Let's get it. I mean, you know, whenever you're able to break down first week of the season, a lot of excitement. What are you guys talking about?
I mean, we played Mocha Thursday. You get Red Bulls Sunday. That's a lot of caffeine in 1 week, going from a Mocha to a Red Bull. And yes, these are the terrible jokes you got to put up with all season, guys. Week 2, we're just getting started.
You can hear the pride in his voice from that. Look, this place was rocking on Sunday. It doesn't even feel like we just started the season. It feels like we are in full swing here, especially with how challenging the upcoming slate's going to be for Nashville.
Let's take a look at the match in the Dominican Republic on Thursday as the boys in gold took down Mocha FC. Jaleel, what were your thoughts on that match?
Yeah, overall strong performance. I think anytime you're going up against a team that you don't know much about, it's about starting on the right foot, starting with intensity, starting with professionalism. That's what we saw in that match. As far as the attack is concerned, anytime you can have Hani Mukhtar pulling off of that front line, combining with Sam Surridge, you're in a great situation. Tyler Boyd balled out as well.
Yeah, I really liked the performance, and Nashville has 58% of the ball. They outshoot Mocha 6-3. Gary Smith described that pitch as being like a postage stamp. Said that artificial turf surface, it's so small, and that's a team that is very motivated in Mocha FC to come out, put their best foot forward in a competition of this size. I thought the newcomers specifically, though, looked really good. Tyler Boyd marks his full debut with a goal, and Drew Yearwood as well, Lucas, I thought had a great cameo, too.
Well, important not just to win, but to win convincingly, right? To have that 3-0 cushion going into the second leg. Guys, the first 3 weeks of the season, you're talking about a strong possibility of Nashville having 7 games in the span of 21 days. It's an average of a game every 3 days. Any opportunity to be able to rotate players absolutely has to be taken advantage of. Jaleel, as you know, Nashville gave themselves that opportunity and don't have a looming 1-0 advantage to have to defend on Wednesday. Feel a little more secure going in with a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, absolutely, Lucas. And when you talk about depth, it's always going to be of a premium when you're competing in multiple competitions. But let's be real, this is a team in Mocha FC that Nashville is superior over. They should win this game, but it's not easy to do. It's not easy to go into the Dominican Republic, travel to a country that most of the players haven't been to, compete against a team that you don't know too much about in the scout. So the professionalism for me is what I really love about this performance. Going in, making sure in the early stages of the game, you either affect it, get on the score sheet. Hani Mukhtar, Sam Surridge combination, Tyler Boyd looked real nice in the early stages. That's why I think for me, it was a runaway performance.
Yeah, I'll say Thursday's performance just set the tone for Sunday. Coming in here, everyone had that energy of how excited they were that we came off a win, and was able to bring that attitude to make this roaring environment for Sunday's home opener against New York Red Bull. You've heard from me, but now let's hear from Coach Gary Smith.
I'm very, very proud of the way that the guys worked. The first half was very, very difficult, and New York for sure were the better team. But as the second half unfolded, I felt as though there were certainly opportunities and more confidence in the group maybe to take the game to New York that we certainly didn't see in that first half.
Now let's hear from the boys. Lucas, let's start with you. What were your thoughts on match day 1?
Well, there's no doubt anytime you're hosting MLS regular season matches, the goal is to come away with 3 points. But guys, the circumstances have to be taken into consideration here. Nashville was shorthanded from injuries that took place Thursday in the Dominican. Nashville's coming off of a quick turnaround. So it's a hard-earned point combined with playing one of the hardest teams to play in all of Major League Soccer with New York Red Bulls and their imposing, challenging style of play. So I certainly thought it was a fair result. Nashville's squad depth tested a little bit, and really, Will, they were the ones asking the questions in the second half. The entrance of Walker Zimmerman and Anibal Godoy felt like really gave the boys in gold a real foothold there at the end of the game.
I would agree. I think the second half was certainly more of what Gary Smith wanted to see from his team. I mean, you talk about playing without your 3 designated players in the starting 11 against a team that set the MLS record last season for seeing the least amount of shots in a 34-game season. That is difficult. playing against Red Bulls. It's why teams at MLS that were in midweek Concacaf Champions Cup play last week had no wins, a loss, and 5 draws. It's difficult when there are so many games this early in the season. But the second half specifically, Julio, I think there are some real positives Nashville can take from the way they fought in that second 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Lucas, you touched on it earlier about the fact that Walker Zimmerman comes in, subs into the game, Anibal Godoy, Brian Anunga. They come into the game and kind of change things a little bit. When we talk about vibes, Liv, that you were talking about earlier, Walker pulls up, this place goes crazy. That's the type of stuff that we're here for in Nashville. But for the second half, very, very good. Mackenzie Gaines also comes in, hits a few step overs. But for me, the standout performer is Joe Willis here. In this match, he was absolutely excellent, keeps the team in the game in the first half, gets his 60th clean sheet. And you got to understand, too, that in the 5 years now that Joe Willis has been here, 4 previous seasons, he's had 2 seasons with double-digit clean sheets. The other 2, he's had 9. So you got to think that this is a bright spot to continue to look into for Nashville. 0-0 result, like you said, Lucas, is a fair one.
Yeah, I would say the boys' performance was great on Sunday. But what I really need to know now is, what are your thoughts on their outfits rolling up to the stadium?
I mean, look, for me, game day it's not any other day. The 3 of us, we talk about this all the time. You can't pull up in just what you wear to cut the lawn. You can't pull up in what you wear in any other circumstance. Game day is different. And for me, my game day fit of the week is Drew Yearwood. He came ready, suited, kitted to play against his former club. The leather jacket is fire, the little chain underneath. Come on, the swag is on point, boys.
I'm going with Tyler Boyd. You got to make a good first impression in your full debut as a Nashville SC player at MLS. The all black. He's got the blazer, the black sweater, the little brown tint on the shades. I think that was a great little splash of color. I don't know. Jalil's the style guy, Lucas. We're amateurs compared to the veteran over here.
We defer to Jalil on all of these things. That's why I'm going Mackenzie Gaines, man. Less is more. Oversized white tee, black pants. I'm the guy that tries to combine navy with whatever you're not supposed to combine navy with. You know black and white works. Mackenzie Gaines rolled out of bed, slapped it on, said, I'm here to go to work. And I respect that about it. I'm going Gaines, the newcomer, who, like you said, flashed a little bit after his second half entry.
Yeah, facts. I mean, that white tee, we still out here in white tees. But all right, it was all about the step overs for Mackenzie Gaines. That's for sure. Liv, what are you saying?
Ooh, I have to say Godoy. He just had that gray suit on. It looked so fire, perfectly suited. I mean, it looked like he was going to New York Fashion Week.
Yeah, when it comes to game day fits, you got to be suited. You got to be kitted. And nobody at this club, in my opinion, understands that better than Anibal Godoy. He was not only putting on for Nashville, he was trying to put on for Panama with that suit too. But when you talk about business and what the boys in gold are going to need to do, they're going to need to double down on their efforts from the previous week and carry that into next week.
That's right. So this Wednesday, the boys in gold take on Mocha FC. What are our thoughts going into this match?
Yeah, I think that it's about professionalism. We're talking about business, but it's one where they're going to need to have a very, very professional performance here at home against Mocha FC. They did it in the first leg, but again, this competition is not easy. To be able to compete midweek, at the weekend as well, it's all about professionalism for me.
Mocha is going to come out with everything that they've got, every ounce of energy into this game. For me, for Nashville, it's about set-piece defending. You cannot let a soft goal get Mocha FC back in the tie. You've got a comfortable 3-0 lead. A corner or a free kick, that can evaporate quickly. A penalty kick, whatever it is. I think set pieces are the key. I think that's something that Gary Smith and Nashville will pay perhaps a bit extra attention to this week.
Yeah, especially early, right, in that first half. I mean, anytime you see these dramatic 3-goal comebacks in the second leg, there's always that early uplifting moment that really brings that belief to, in this case, the visiting team in Mocha. Nashville would like to avoid that at all costs. The more this game goes on at 0-0 or a Nashville goal to just extend that aggregate lead, just the more you'll see, I think, Mocha deflate a little bit, having had to make the long trip up to Nashville. But if the boys in gold can get to halftime without conceding, you'll feel great about just being able to see that out and on to the round of 16.
Yeah, and from a tactical standpoint, what I was pretty surprised about was that Mocha didn't really seem to sit in at home. And now that they're down 3-0 as far as aggregate is concerned, they have no excuse, no other option but to open up. So if you go and you try to chase the game here in Nashville, one thing that NSC is excellent at is hitting teams out on the counter. So if Nashville can get out on the break early in this match, get an early goal, get up to 4-0 situation as far as aggregate is concerned, you could probably consider it done and dusted. But again, professionalism is the only way you get there.
Yeah, and so after the match on Wednesday, the boys have to turn around, hop on the road, and head to the Mile High City in Colorado. Jaleel, what are your thoughts on the guys playing against Colorado from your experience?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going to Colorado, a place that Gary Smith and quite frankly, all of the coaching staff is very familiar with, it's going to be a tough one because altitude is something that you have to take in consideration. It's Colorado's home opener. They did not have the result that they wanted in their season opener against Portland, so they're going to want to make that wrong right in the home opener. Gary Smith and company don't want to fall victim to that. Again, early stages are always huge on the road, making sure that defensively you start off very, very well, catch your chances and opportunities when you can when the game opens up.
I think we're talking about Joe Willis and the spectacular goalkeeping that Nashville had over the weekend. You're running into an exceptional goaltender in Zach Steffen for Colorado Rapids, who made his debut over the weekend against Portland. Again, like you said, Jaleel, not the result he or the team wanted, but comes with 4 years of experience at Manchester City. He's been at the highest level in the English Premier League, just brings so much experience into a Colorado team that's got completely new faces. I mean, the roster turnover in this team is tremendous, but you know what you're getting. He's a terrific shot stopper. He's very good with his feet. Nashville is going to have to create a lot of high-danger opportunities to beat him.
Well, you're right. Chris Armas, the Colorado manager, bringing this team into its home opener. As you said, they're going to be pressing. Wasn't just a road loss at Portland Timbers, a 4-1 road loss at Portland to open up their season. So they're going to want to right that wrong. They're going to be pressing in front of their home fans that have obviously been frustrated in recent years. So you talk about springing that counter and being locked in that regard, something Nashville does almost better than anybody in the league against Mocha. I think same goes for the Colorado match. And so my mind's on Anibal Godoy, who came into this game in the second half against New York Red Bulls, completed 20 of 23 passes after coming into the game. And I know you can speak to just how difficult that is against this New York Red Bulls press. It's going to be Godoy to set the tempo, kind of be the metronome for Nashville to be able to spring that counter at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I mean, Anibal Godoy has been a crucial factor of this club literally since its MLS inception. And his ability to be able to connect the defensive line, midfield line, and most importantly, the forward line on both sides of the ball is going to be crucial in this fixture in Colorado, when you would like to think that altitude, these types of things are going to play into the factors of the match. But for me, what I'm really interested to see how this plays out is how does the battle of the U.S. men's internationals really play out in this fixture? Because, Will, you spoke about it earlier. Colorado really bolstered, or you could say overhauled their roster, bringing in, namely, some very, very successful U.S. men's international players. Zach Steffen being in the back now, or being in the net now, I should say. You have Sam Vines on that left-hand side, who's a late signing in the offseason. Georgi Mihailovic, for me, is going to be just a key player to watch in this league. But on the other side of the line here in Nashville, you have the U.S. internationals that are really starting off this campaign on the right foot. Walker Zimmerman getting the minutes that he needs to work himself back to where we all want him to be. And then, of course, on that right-hand side, you got Shaq Moore, who's been balling out. I thought he had a very good performance against Red Bull. And the guy that comes tucked in every single game, whether we're talking about Jersey or tucking in off that right-hand side or left-hand side, Tyler Boyd needs the ball out as well.
Well, that's it for us today. Make sure to tune in on Wednesday as the boys in gold take on Mocha FC in Concacaf Champions Cup. Then on Saturday, the boys in gold will be taking on Colorado Rapids. Make sure to tune in on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or listen locally on 104.5 The Zone. Thanks for tuning in.